Once favoured by drug dealers, dark web aficionados and Interpol's most wanted, Signal's popularity has surged over into the mainstream now due to a looming privacy blunder with WhatsApp and about how it shares data with parent company Facebook. With tweets going out from Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey and Edward Snowden, who praises the app's security credentials, the messaging app has been catapulted to #1 in nearly all app stores across the world. Co-founded by the original WhatsApp owner and a cryptographer, the project is an open source, non-profit organisation with a relentless focus on security and transparency. And it's the way that this organisation is structured, which is why I believe it's a little bit different from the other messaging apps and why it's worth a little bit of your time. Let me explain why. Before I begin, I would like to say that I'm not banging on any privacy drum here. I have WhatsApp installed. I also use Telegram. I will continue to use WhatsApp. I've got a Facebook account. I've got Instagram, and I will bathe in all those likes that you want to send my way. What I'm trying to get at is here in Europe, WhatsApp is extremely popular and it's almost a de facto messaging platform here in the UK. I know it's the same for India and in South America too, and that's the problem. While the conversation, sometimes a bit of a heated conversation, is going on about which one is better, one isn't better than the other. They've each got their own slightly different set of features and they've each got their own slightly different set of use cases. You need to figure out which is the right one for you. If not, just use both. It's not, should I switch from WhatsApp, which is, yeah, you should have another alternative. It's which one should I switch to? That is massive. It's just really good to know that Facebook's communication applications, which is WhatsApp and Messenger, looks like they might not be the dominant force going forward into the future. And that is a good thing. Anyway, back to Signal. I'm not going to walk you through a messaging app. We all know how they work. Once you have signed up, one of the first things you notice, especially before everybody else started signing up, is it's all your dodgy mates on there. But there's a reason for that. It's got a very simplistic UI. There's a Mac app, there's a Windows app, there's a Linux app, and obviously iOS and Android. All your messages are stored on your phone, not in the cloud. So when you are syncing between other desktop apps, it's pulling from your phone. Again, there's a reason for this. Signal doesn't store any of your metadata. And of course, it's end-to-end encrypted by default. Most apps are, including WhatsApp and including Messenger. The difference is it's the metadata that goes around the message as well. So yeah, I do believe WhatsApp has got very secure end-to-end encryption. The difference is it's when that message was sent, who was it sent to, where were you when it was sent, how big was the message, where were you located, and so much information. That's all the metadata, which is pretty much fair game in Facebook's case. So yeah, they might not be actually saying what you're saying, but they know who you're saying it to, when you're saying it, how often you're saying it, how long you're saying it for, how repetitive you're saying it. And that's when it shares all those data across its other networks to try and build profiles about you and people around you. Signal processes everything on the phone. So all your messages are on the phone. Lose your phone, lose your messages. Again, this is a use case example. I know with Telegram, they can store messages on the server. So it depends on what's important for you. It is, I don't want to say bare basics because it is actually quite feature rich. You can have calling up to 8 people in one go. You can have, I think it's up to 1,000 people into a group. You've got alerts, you've got messages, you've got all the good stuff that you've got in WhatsApp and many of the other messaging services. It is a little bit stripped down, but it's stripped down to be highly secure. Now, security. Security on the actual product itself is fantastic. It's really good. I mean, Edward Snowden swears by it, and if anyone needs to watch their arse right now, it's definitely him. What you have to remember though is you're only secure as the people that are using it. You might have everything fully locked down your end, but does the person that you're talking to? And like most hacks, most security breaches, and most problems with cybersecurity, nearly all the time it's human error. It's the person that's getting hacked, not the product itself. Moxie Marlinspike, an American cryptographer and computer security researcher, formed the Open Whisper project in 2013. That eventually became Signal App in 2015. And in 2018, Brian Acton, the original WhatsApp co-founder, came along, opened his wallet up for $50 million, and the pair of them formed the Signal Foundation. That's a holding foundation for the Signal app and Signal Protocol. Signal Protocol is an open source cryptographic end-to-end encryption which is used by many companies for messaging services, including, you guessed it, WhatsApp and Messenger. So Facebook actually uses the Signal Protocol that Signal have developed in their own products. Let's talk about transparency. Signal is very transparent. In fact, their entire code base is open source. Open source, for those that don't know, is when your code is publicly available for anybody to see, edit, make changes to. They can download it themselves and have a play around with it. Sounds counterproductive, and in some cases it is, but in this time it works exceptionally well. Wondering what the code is on the screens behind me? Well, that's actually Signal. Let me show you. First one here is a JavaScript file. This is for the desktop apps for the Mac, Linux and Windows version. They're all coded in JavaScript and packaged together so it can work unified on all of the platforms together. The next one is the server-side one. This is Java. When you send a message from your phone, it gets processed somewhere before it gets sent out again. That happens on the server. That's what this one is here. That one is Java as well. That's for the Android app, and this one is for iOS. So that's the iOS app going there. You can see all of the code that makes all of this work, bar a couple of security credentials just so you can access their systems. But on the whole, everything's there. In fact, if you know any of these programming languages and you come across a bug on the app itself, you can go in, try and fix it, send a request over to them, and if it works and they like it, they can merge it into the main code base. But also, if a vulnerability has been found, it means that very smart people across the world who know what they're doing can all jump on it together, work together on it, fix a problem really quickly, and push it back into the system. It also means that people can look for vulnerabilities. So yes, if you think if it's open source, surely can people find problems? Well, they can, and that's the point. People can find problems, and the sooner they find problems, the sooner they can fix it. The Signal Foundation is registered in the US as a 501c3, which is a charitable organization that relies on donations. When it was co-founded, Brian obviously added in 50 million of his own fund, presumably from when he sold WhatsApp to Facebook. I couldn't find any data about how much they've raised in donations at the moment. They do have a very publicly open donation page, but during my research, I did see a lot of notable people who are quite wealthy who have said they have contributed before in the past and will continue to do so in the future. So, why am I making a video about Signal? Well, obviously I quite like it. It's my favourite out of all of them, but not the reasons you might think. It's nice as an app, it's okay. I personally quite like the stripped down minimal interface. Not everyone does, I understand that. I also like the fact that it's open source and I can see what's going on and people can fix problems really quickly, but that's not the only reason. I like the fact that it's structured as an organisation, as a non-profit, which means they're there to serve you, not the dollars. The reason why I like Signal is all of it put together. When you become a big company, especially when you deal with communications, all the big tech giants start sniffing around and want to buy you. You integrate them into your big corporate, big tech monopoly of all your other services. The thing is, you're sitting on 500 million plus users, but you cannot see shit. The reason why is everything is all encrypted. So most of the data in Signal sits on your phone. All the conversations, all the messages, everything like that, they stay encrypted on your phone. It's not like you buy a database of 500 million plus users and then you've got to try and break the database. You have to break it for each individual person and each individual data point. It's not worth it. And because they hold such little information about you in the first place, it's not even worth trying to break it. Now, let's say big tech company bought Signal, they then legally changed the company structure, and for some reason they don't care about trying to break it, they just want the network effect. Well, the code is open source, so someone else can just restart it again. Now, it's not that easy. You can't just restart a highly secure messaging service, but it can be done. So the company itself, not attractive. The data itself, non-existent. And when it does exist, there's absolutely fuck all you can do with it. And when you do take all of that, someone else can then go and take their own code, which is openly available, and then start their own one. Anyway, it just makes the service unsellable. And that's the reason why I like it. I think Signal has the bigger picture going on here, and it's a slightly different way of running a huge, communications network these days, as opposed to being owned by a corporation. If there's an opinion you've got about any of this, and most people on YouTube do have an opinion, do leave a comment below. Let me know what app that you like to use, or if there's anything I've missed out, or any information that you want answered, or any questions you've got, please let me know. Also, do subscribe to this channel. My name's Jack, and I love talking about technology. I love covering big picture stuff that's happening in the news at the moment, especially when it affects most people. And I love to explain what's happening. I also do tutorials, so if you run an online business and you want to get ahead, do follow my channel. I've got many more videos coming up that will help you. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for making it this far, and I'll see you next time.